And I started this live today because the occurrence of what happened with Twitch, and if you don't know, Stephen Boss, a.k.a. Twitch, he is a father. He was a husband. He's a choreographer, actor, TV producer. He's been on Ellen DeGeneres. Very well known. But the shocking manner of it is, and if you haven't heard, he committed suicide allegedly by gunfire, shot himself. And it's very surprising. As somebody didn't know him personally, the perception that he had and the way he came across is he was all joy. He was all peace, happiness, just someone who wanted to make you laugh, someone who just shined with energy, right? And it's just to show you never know. You never know. And that's why it's so imperative to check in with people. It's so imperative to reevaluate self. You know, I talk all the time about being self-aware, the importance of knowing who you are, right? And it doesn't get any more important than that. But what I want to start with saying is this, and what I need everyone on here to realize and understand is that you are bigger than that. And I want to say that again. You are bigger than that. And that I'm referring to is any situation, any circumstance, any burden, any trials or tribulations that you may be going through. I am here to tell you, you are bigger than that. Now, for me personally, you know, I am a man of God. Whoever your higher source that you recognize, you have to understand. You were designed so that nothing can stop you other than yourself. And I know that's easier said than done, but this is the transparency, this is the realness, this is the truth talk that we have to have here today and moving forward. It's not about a new year coming up. Because the time changed, because the dates change, it doesn't matter if you don't change your perspective. If you don't change how you perceive things, how you see things, it's all going to be the same-ish, just a different day. And this situation with Stephen Boss, a.k.a. Twitch, is a direct it's a direct example of it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how you appear. Just as God knows your heart, you know what you're going through. And we are all going through something. There's stuff I'm going through. There's stuff you're going through. But what I want to tell you this is that there is nothing new under the sun. You got to catch that. There is nothing new under the sun. What does that mean? That means anything you have experienced, anything you're experiencing, and anything that you will experience down the line, someone else has been through it, gone through it, and got through it. Understand that. Please understand that. Because tough times will come, but they don't come to stay. They come to pass. So, you know, as I deep dive into the Bible, because that's what I'm in right now. This is the season to understand. I'm looking at it in a different scope. I'm looking at it through a different lens right now as I seek the truth. And I'm realizing we are all one. We are all going to experience some type of hardship. We are all going to be set up in the dark so that we can eventually bring it to light. So, you know, one of the things I'm understanding now, and I've been understanding this for a little time now, but we say these scriptures, we say these phrases, We have these mantras and everything that we're talking about. But truly, I want you to understand when you're saying things, understand the meaning. This year, starting from right now, make it a priority that when you say something, when you look at something, I want you to deep dive into it and ask yourself, what does that mean and what does it mean to me? Right? Because I can't tell you what you're going through. But what I can tell you is, again, that somebody's already gone through it. And that should give you the peace to know that somebody has my solution. Now, I'll keep it 100 with you. I'm the type of person, I don't always like to go for help. I don't. That's just how I'm set up as of right now. Now, I'm learning more, and I start to be more interactive when it comes to that. I have a coach, I have a mentor, but when it comes to just openly talking, I'm not always about that, right? I'm self-aware about that with myself. Now, in this season, I'm having to open up more as I'm continuing to coach you guys, as I'm continuing to help you become the best version of yourself. I have to follow suit. But I'm telling you this, if you are someone right now in your season of your life where you feel like you're just not able, or you don't want to confide in someone else. It's funny, I had this conversation with my mother today, and she said something very profound. She said, listen, God, your higher power, whatever you call him, wants you to not hide from him. He wants you to confide in him. Be able to tell that secret, because understand, God's all-knowing. He's omnipresent. He's everywhere. There's nothing that he doesn't know. If you take the story of Adam and Eve, he asked Adam, where are you, Adam? Where are you at? He knew the answer. But he wanted Adam to be self-aware of what he was doing, where he was at. But it starts with understanding who you are. And this journey of life that we are on, the whole purpose of this journey is to know that we are planted sometimes in darkness so we can find our way with the light that is inside of us to get back to source, get back to God, get back to your creator. There would be no need for light if there was no darkness. You wouldn't have an appreciation for it. And I'm sharing these phrases and I'm trying to put it into a simplistic perspective that you understand that tough times will come. Good times are to follow. There are seasons for reasons. And I think speaking to the younger generation, the youth of today and tomorrow, as I call them, our kingdom kids, this is something we have to really grasp. This is something we really have to take hold of, to understand that, listen, you are bigger than your burdens. You're bigger than your problems. You're bigger than anything you're going through. But you got to give it time. I don't know what Twitch was going through, because in the naked eye, it looked like he had everything. Beautiful family, kids, career, income, able to dance his butt off, all of that stuff. Looked like he had it all. But something was going on in here. And it's something that we probably will never know. Maybe his wife knows. Maybe his close friends know. But a lot of times in these situations, they don't even know. Because that inner me will be your biggest enemy. Right? I've told you to talk to yourself because they're listening. When I say they are listening, it's because you have a couple sides to you. Right? You see the cartoons where they have the devil and the angel on these sides, whatever you want to call it. You have an alter ego. You have two sides to you. One's talking faith in your ear and one's talking fear in your ear. One's telling you got it. The other's telling you, no, you don't. And because we've become so conditioned to just see people on the exterior, not diving deep in. Now, maybe they're not letting us in. But this is why it's so important to get back to what God's all about, which is love. It's not about the different races. It's not about the places you're in, the spaces you're in. It's about we are one unified front. And as division keeps happening, think about it. When you divide something, you're not whole. And when you're not whole, you're always missing a piece. And then that's when that inner talk starts to happen. You know, for myself at times, to be transparent, it's like you're not as great as your dad. Oh, you didn't accomplish much. And then you start forgetting the things you have accomplished and you've gone through and the struggles that you've been able to overcome. This is why I've told you guys before, go back to your past, not to dwell on the mistakes you've had or the struggles you have, but to recognize that because you did not quit, because you did not stop trying to move forward, is the reason you're here right now. This is the simple perspective that we have to continue to drill into ourselves, into our youth, into our friends, into our families, everyone, is that you are here now because you did not quit. Oh, well, you know what? I didn't quit, but I did give up on this, or, you know, I cut early up on this and I should have did more with this. That's all irrelevant. There's no wasted space. There's no coincidences. Nothing happens for no reason. Our job as humans, your job as yourself, the I am, is to find the good, to find what you were able to overcome, to find that. Just as God wants you to find him because he is a piece of you. He wants you to find him. So at the point I'm making is, as you're going through these things, go through it with the perspective of that I am going to get through it. What you are experiencing is experiencing you. It all ties together. There's a lot of influences out here. There's a lot of influencers out here. But this is why everything starts with self. Everything starts with self. Because how I view things is creating my reality. How you view things is creating your reality. See, no one has permission to interrupt, to change, alter your reality unless you give them that permission. That's empowerment right there. No one can take away your reality. No one can alter, change your reality unless you give them permission. Think about that. They say the wise man is the one who doesn't react, he observes. If someone says something to you that you didn't like, you have a choice. You can react and go wild and curse them out and all that stuff, or you can just sit back and observe. What's going on with him right now? What's going on with her right now? I think she might be going through something. Right? And this is the perspective I'm giving to you on how you can manage yourself. Right? You don't have to be quick to react. You know, oh, he made me so mad. She made me so mad. You are relinquishing that power to them. And all of this is easier said than done, but we have to start with the acknowledgement first. And then we can go into exercises on how to train the brain and the mind to not be so reactive, but be observant. But we first have to acknowledge, I've told you guys before, if there's a problem that you don't realize is a problem, then that's a bigger problem. If you can't see the problem, then you can't identify the problem, and then you can't address the problem. So it starts with being self-aware. You have to raise your self-awareness. Then in return, you start to raise yourself, your vibrations, your Christ consciousness. You start raising all of these things. You start going to a new level. Why? Not because you're elevating off the ground, but because you are being able to see things through a different perspective. You are being reborn again. You are growing up. You are leveling up, whatever you want to call it. Call it what makes and resonates with you. But the point I'm making is that it starts with having to be able to build up that self-awareness. You know what? This is a problem. Something's going on. I need to talk to somebody. You know what? I don't want to talk to somebody. I don't feel comfortable talking to anybody. If you don't feel comfortable talking to anybody in your life, number one, that's a problem. But that's okay. This is how you overcome that problem. You go talk to the one that created you. If you were building something, the first thing you do is you look at the instructions from the person who made it. Second thing you may do is to go find somebody who else has done it before. So I want to tell you, there's always a choice. There's always an option. There's always a solution. If you get nothing from the good word, from the Bible, if that's not your book of choice, there's one thing I want you to know. It says, you are him. He is you and you are him. You are one and the same. Seek first the kingdom inside here. And you'll find all the answers, and all else will be given to you. And just don't faint. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Don't think it's over. Because the voices, they're going to play tricks on you. You combine that with people who are also going to be there to have some things in your ear. You know, both different perspectives, right? But we are not fighting against the flesh and blood. Don't look at the person and say they're bad. They're doing this, doing that. That's not the person. That's the spirit in them talking. That's a whole nother conversation. But you have a choice. You have options. You have a solution. And I know some people might not be comfortable talking to other people. Listen, I can resonate with that. That's why I'm here talking to you guys about this today. To be truthful and transparent, I don't always want to share, what I'm going through. But one thing I'm solid ground on, my principal base, is that I know who I can talk to. And that gives me peace every single time. Every day I have to say to myself, listen, there's nothing new under the sun, Joe. Anything you're going through, somebody's already gone through it. There's a solution out there. If you don't know where to find it, you know who to talk to get it from. That's where we all have to be grounded on. That's where we all have to start our foundation on, from our youth to our elderly. It is never too old, never too late to change your perspective. It's never too late to go to him. We have to start at that baseline. We got to get back to the basics, because this is happening all so much. This happened to be a celebrity in the spotlight, but this happens day after day after day. and it's time to go back to the drawing board. Because as a father of 4 girls, that would be devastating. So when you have kids, you understand, like, listen, what you're leaving behind. You have to be going through some stuff. And I know, people say kids should be your everything. Your spouse should be your everything. How could you leave everything behind? It's because you're not thinking about that. You're not self-aware. You're self-destructive. I want you to know I'm being intentional with you. And when I talk about self and why I harp upon self, it's not to be self-absorbed. It's not to be selfish, right? Love thyself, and then love thy neighbor as they love thyself. There's a proper order of operations that has to happen. It's not said in that order for no reason. You've got to understand that. Because so many times we have this role reversed where we're trying to love thy neighbor like we love thyself, but we haven't figured out how to love thyself. So that becomes self-destructive. Because now you relinquish that power that was given to you and rely on someone else to tell you who you are. Now, I don't speak upon Twitch himself because, again, I didn't know him personally. But this conversation has been drawn on because of what happened in this situation. Now, we need to build the foundation, and we need to start back from scratch. Think of a drawing board, think of a chalkboard. We got to now go back and erase some things. And we have to go back and rewrite how it's been told, how it's being seen, how it's being heard. You have the power within inside of you. There's nothing you can't do. That's how you were designed. That's how you were created. Think of that piece. If you know there's nothing you can't do, then you know there's nothing that can stop you other than you. This is a tragic situation, but it's a common situation. Suicide is happening every single day. And I don't have all the answers. But I feel I have the best answer. And that is to tell you, you have to talk to that higher power. Say, Joe, why are you saying higher power? I believe it's God. I believe that's the name. But I also know God is not boxed in. I've seen God show up in homeless people. I've seen God show up in rich people, poor people, black people, Indian people, you name it. So although I may only have the concept of being able to call God as God, because that's what I identify with, I would not shun anyone off for calling them something else. Because that to me would be a disrespect to God. But we got a choice, and we have to live with that choice. We have to die with that choice. But to be born again is by the transforming of your mind. Being able to look back and say, you know what? I see it a little differently now. I'm getting the truth. I'm understanding the divine power. I'm understanding more of this thing called life and the journey that we have to go on and how we have to see things. I'm understanding that more. Have fun with it. I told you guys I've never had a chance to physically meet my father-in-law, but he was wise beyond measure. I've been so blessed to be around so many wise, enlightened people. My mother, my father, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my wife, all of these people, even my children. But it's all because, let me put this in perspective to you. This did not happen like that for coincidence. This happened when I made a choice to put God first and ask him not for a scripture. I did not ask him for the book. I didn't ask him to go to church or anything. All of that came a part of it, but all I simply asked him and continue to ask every day is for the divine truth to open my eyes, my ears, and my hearts to the steps that he has ordered for me. Use me as the vessel, but you have to be an open vessel. Just as closed mouths don't get fed, if you are a closed off vessel, you can't get all of the goods that he has, that he wants to give to you. You can't get it all that way. We got to wake up. The irony of it is that we're walking around sleeping. I don't know the proper term, but sleep, you know what I'm saying. Said this the other day that you've ever watched a movie. You ever watched a movie, right? And in that movie, you saw the whole movie. But you look back at that and you're like, dang, I feel like I missed so much. People telling you this happened and that, you're like, I didn't see it like that. We got to wake up. Real talk, we got to wake up. There's so much that we think we know that we don't really know. Because as I told you before, you know who knows. Simply ask for the divine truth. The divine truth. You have the power within. You have the choice. The chosen ones are the ones who choose to get the truth. Nobody's any better than you, and you're no better than anybody else, but we all make a choice. That's why there isn't good or bad people. It's a choice. We ask for discernment so we can recognize but not judge, because we are all God's people. So God's not feeling you talking about one of his kids no matter what was done. Right? That Christ consciousness is the one of love. It's the one that says, listen, I don't care. Forgive him 77 times. Because you out here throwing rocks, living in a glass house, you about to shatter your own house. Acting like you ain't do nothing wrong. Keep it moving. Pray for him. Pray for her. And then keep it moving. That's all you got to do. You don't have to place judgment. And that forgiveness, again, is not for them. It's for you. You can't reach that higher level, that higher vibration, with a closed off heart. So as you sitting there in bitterness and a destructive mindset and payback mindset, you stopping your growth. You're stunning your growth, not the other person. I just read one of the parables in the Bible today. He's talking about, and I forget which one it was, but the bottom line is this: the servant owed the king money. And he said, listen, I'm going to pay you back. Just give me some time. Give me some time. He said, all right, you know what? I got you. Right? And then that same servant went to another servant that owed him money and said, I need my money now. Said, I don't got it. Just give me some more time. Nah. I'm putting you in jail. You owe me the money. So some of the other servants like, yo, didn't the king just give you a pass? So they went and told the king, and the king said, word? I gave you a pass? And now somebody owes you money and you can't give them a pass? Okay, I'll fix you. Now you going in. You see how that works? And it all circles back to the wise man. Because if that servant was wise, what would he have done? He wouldn't have immediately reacted. He would have observed and said, you know what? I owe the king money. He forgave me. Let me do the same. Let me reciprocate. Let me pass on the blessing that I was blessed with. But instead, he was a fool and he reacted right away. That's how it works. I'm telling you. It can happen so quickly for you. And this, I'm circling back to Twitch. If you just really build that relationship with your higher power, it can happen so quickly for you. You will get quantum leaps. I have not dived real deep into the Bible. I'm continuing to do that. But these quantum leaps, these epiphanies, these revelations that I'm getting, I'm being real with you guys, has come because I have simply asked God every single day for divine truth, open my eyes, ears, and my hearts to the steps you have ordered for me. And then, like I told you before, the signs and symbols don't precede you, they follow you. So as you're seeking that, then signs, then symbols, people, places, they come in front of you. But again, because I am now more self-aware to be looking for them, I am picking them up and I am putting them together and piecing them together and being able to give it back to you guys. But this transformation, right, that I'm experiencing is only because I've been transparent. Not with people, right? I'm transparent with you guys. But the order of operation is that I have to be transparent with God. Not because he don't know me. He already knows me. He created me. But circle back to the beginning. The reason he asked Adam, where you at, Adam? I know where you at, Adam. But I want to know if you know that I know that you know that I know. Because he was building that self-awareness in Adam. To say, I know where you are. Do you know where you are? Jesus, I know who they say I am. Who do you say I am? You got to connect these dots. I'm telling you, everything you need is there. And now you take all of these parables, you take all of these things, and it starts to be clear, right? The process I run through with my clients, we first focus on connecting the dots, which is the clarity. Who you are, how do you prefer to do things? Let's get clear there. Now we can start to close the gap, which is the communication, right? All right, let's start forming out how do we like to communicate? How can we communicate with others to get the message that we're trying to get across as to who we are and how we want to be and all that stuff. And then you're able to now clear the gap, which is the confidence to be able to move forward in all that you do, right? If you have confidence in any area, you can go quickly, you can go boldly, right? That's how God tells you to come to him. Come boldly because I'm inside of you. So you're basically talking to a piece of yourself. So ask. You ask not, you have not because you ask not. So come and ask. All you got to do is ask. Be confident, have some faith. Stick around long enough to see it burst out because you have everything. You just haven't experienced it yet. So stick around. Don't faint. Don't quit. Keep going. That's the whole process, right? Trust the process. Trust process. Trust process. How do I find this process? Right here. Seek first the kingdom of God, which is within. Jesus told the disciples, man, I'm up out of here, but what you're going to be able to do is 10 times greater than what I did. Why? Because he's up in here. I was just here to kind of guide you and show you how to be, right? Show you how to be. So then be it. I'm here to show you how to be. Now you just have to be it. See, that's the great thing about coaching. As you coach, you sharpen your own axe. You sharpen your own sword. Because even as I'm talking to you guys today and sharing this information, I am getting a revelation. I am getting an epiphany as to, okay, now I see how it's all coming together. Now I see how it's working out. And that's what makes it fun. That's what makes this game of life fun. When you start to feel like you have self-mastery over self, nothing else can stop you. They're going to try, right? No weapon formed against you shall prosper. It's going to try, but it's not going to prosper. The only way it can is if you self-destruct. Man, there's so many more places I can go with this, but I don't want to overflow your cup. I don't want to make you full, right? I'm going through stuff, we're all human. But because we have such a division, right? And some people are called to emphasize certain things and talk about certain things, and I'm not judging. That's what it is. That's what they felt they were called to do. I am clear on what I am called to do, and that's to talk to people. And my people are people. I could easily be called a clarity coach. I could easily be called a communication coach. I could easily be called an empowerment coach. No, I am a transformation coach. I'm looking right up on my wall, and it says I'm the #1 transformational coach in the world. Thank you, God. So the universe, which is led by God, has to give me what I'm asking for. Now, where we mistake ourselves and where we have this misconception is how it's going to happen. Right? Let's bring it back to the word. Disciples talking to Jesus. How's it going to end for us, Jesus? How's it going to end? Do you understand the beginning first? That's what he said. Do you understand? I'm acting like Jesus talking to the fellow. You understand the beginning first? You worried about how it's going to end? Let's talk about the beginning. Understand who you are first and how it works, and then you'll get the answer of how it's going to end. Because those who drink from my water will never experience death. Yo, that man, that's how it is. We so worried. You got to keep the end in mind, but you got to know the beginning. Keep the vision, but understand who you are. Trust the process. Let everything within you seek that kingdom, and everything else will be given to you. You don't need to know how. You don't need to know how it's going to work out. Why you need to know that? You know you got the power. You know the universe is on your side. You know it has to give you what you're asking for. If you lose someone, if someone leaves your life, you don't have to chase it. You don't have to beg it. You don't have to force. Anything that's needed by force is not meant for you. It's going to come back. You out here messing up the process. Come on. Stop trying to force this stuff. I use my platform to entertain you, to educate you, to empower you, and to encourage you. That's what I use this platform for. I'm not perfect. I got some things I have to work on, but that's what's fun about it. If I had everything figured out, why do I need to be here? Just keep growing and keep going. Keep growing and keep going. Learn to recognize, learn to discern between who's for you and who's not for you. And I'll tell you, if you try to keep somebody who's not for you, something will happen so it'll make it where they can't be there. That's how this game works. So we're going on 42 minutes. It's been a minute, but listen, I had to drop that because this is happening more. Like I said, this is happening more than we see it. This happened to be someone of celebrity status, and my heart and soul goes out to his people, to his family, anyone who knew him true and dear. But this is happening in your hometown. This is happening with the youth. This is happening to everyone, Go through that dark time. I'm telling you. Back in the days, that's how film was developed, in the dark. Darkness isn't necessarily bad. It's necessary. The roots of a tree go down deep before that tree comes up. You have to plant the seeds in the soil. It has to sit in the dark before it can reach the light. But as my father said, what you do in the dark will eventually come in the spotlights, right? So stop thinking that dark times are the problem. See, I'm getting in pastor mode because I told you I was wrapping it up, but I got another 5 minutes. Give me another 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes. Stop thinking the darkness is bad. It's what you do in the dark that is bad. It's what you do in the dark that is bad. Think about that. When someone's going through something and they're desperate, some people live from integrity and keep doing the things they've been doing it, and some want to take a shortcut. Some want to be of not in integrity, right? Because they're in a tough time. Fools rush in. Desperate times, desperate measures. No, it's not. Desperate times, same characteristics. Be the same person. If you truly understand it's all working for your good, it doesn't matter if it's desperate times. It's only desperate times because you're banking on your time and not God's time. You got bills. You got the holidays here. You got Christmas. How I'm going to do that? Listen, we all going through it. But I know tomorrow's another day. I'm built on solid ground. You've got to be built on solid ground. It doesn't mean you can't change your perspective. It doesn't mean you can't be open to all the possibilities. Because I've told you guys before, God is the same today. He's the same tomorrow. And he was the same yesterday. But the way in which he does things might not be the same. Stop boxing him in. Because in essence, you're boxing yourself in. And some of y'all are claustrophobic. And that's why some of us are being taken out. Because we've boxed ourselves in to what God is. To what God expects. You're boxing yourself in. And then you get so boxing. Oh no, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. Oh man, I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. You're doing it to yourself. Self-destructiveness. He gave you free will to find him. And he's not in one place. That's why he's omnipresent. He's everywhere. If you read it for what it is, it tells you. But you've got to read it. Now, some of us, this may be the only word you ever get. Because some of us, to be real, won't go back and read it. Some of us might not see it that way, and that's okay. There's no judgment Again, you can free yourself so much when you're not judging people. Some of your planes can't fly off and go to higher levels because you got so much baggage that you're holding on to. This person did that to me. How dare she do that? How dare he do that? I can't believe this. I can't believe. Like Frozen said, let it go. Let it go. You are holding yourself back because you are holding on to so much. There's a story of the snake, and I think I'm on 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes. Story of the snake. And snakes like to wrap around things. So the snake sees this barbed wire fence, right? And he thinks it's something to eat, right? So he grabs hold of it and squeezes and squeezes and squeezes. Now he feels the barbed wire going through his skin, his scales. But because he's so stubborn, and that's the only way he knows how to attack his prey, he can't even recognize. He's not even self-aware to know that that's not food until it's too late. Because he wouldn't unravel himself. He had to keep squeezing it, pressuring it, forcing it until it killed him. And that's what some of us are doing. Because we have a lot of stinking thinking. Our cups are already full. So all that's pouring in, this is a case where you don't want your cup to runneth over. Because what's in the cup already is bad water. It's not drinking from the cup, from the water or the spring of Jesus. Those seeds are falling on rocky soil, on thorns, because your cup's already full. So for this new year, when you're setting a resolution and you're doing the things that you used to do, and this year was so bad because you know what? 2023 is going to magically be so much better. Because once that 2-2 goes to 2-3, boof, pow, boom, everything's going to change. But again, it says you can only be changed by the renewing of your mind. You can be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Not the year, not the month, not the day, not the time. You are not of this world. You are in this world. Do not be conformed to the ways of the world, because greater is he that is in me than he who is of the world. You want to keep giving your power away in 2023, go ahead. And you'll get the same results. No judgment. No judgment at all. You got to give the truth, speak the truth, show love, give your fellow man or woman, but you don't have to give your power. That was intended for you. What he has for you was meant for you, and your power was meant for you. It was meant for you to do good with it, but you still have a choice. It was meant for you to spread love, but you still have a choice. But you relinquishing your power and then going to get mad that someone's taking it. You gave it. Come on, let's do better in 2023. There's some habits you're going to have to change. There's some things you're going to have to change. But just change it slowly, methodically. Change it. You've got time. Right? And when it's your time, it's your time. But while you're here, use your time. Not to dwell on things. Not to get angry. Not to be frustrated. But in the event that you are those things, at least be aware that you're those things. And then don't beat yourself up. I promise you, and I guarantee you, there's more than enough people out here that are willing to kick you know what, that you don't have to do it yourself. Be your shining light. Be your guiding light. Talk to your higher power. Talk to him. He wants you to talk. He wants you to come. He said, I'll give to you generously if you just come and talk to me. Relationships. It's the center focal point of everything. Relationships and balance. The good thing is you can go and talk to them any single time you want. You might not always be able to talk to your spouse all the time. They might be in a mood sometime. Might not be able to go talk to your kids because they might want something all the time. Your parents, your friends. But the one who created you that dwells inside of you, you can go talk to him at any time. And you must talk to him because that is the only constant that you have. Everything else is a variable. Take it back to math. Your spouse is a variable. Your kids are a variable. Your parents are a variable. Your friends are a variable. Heck, yourself is a variable. We got our moods. We'll go talk to him. He's there. He's the same today, tomorrow, yesterday. Again, the way he does it may be differently, but that who he is the same. I am the great I am. So in this next season, from right now, don't wait in a couple of weeks. Don't wait for that clock, the ball to drop, hip hop, drop tops, or whatever you want to call it. Don't wait for that. Start right now. And declare and decree to yourself, listen, I'm going to be my best change right now. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So if you believe the year is finishing up, finish strong. Just finish strong. That's the only expectation you have to have of yourself to end this year is finish strong. I'm aware now. They say you know better, you do better. So you now know. This live will be up here. If you forget, come back to it. You now know. Now you have to just do better. Jesus said, be like me. Now go be like him. Love thyself and love thy neighbor like I love thyself. Now it's time to start loving thyself, and then everything else will fall in line. But it all starts within. All right. Can't be a liar. I done went past 2 minutes. I probably done went about 10 minutes because it's 53 minutes. I'm out of here. I got more for you, but I can't. I'm not. I can, but I'm not. I'm not going to do it. All right. So, again, listen, condolences to Stephen Ball's family, a.k.a. Twitch. Let's not let his death go in vain. That's the purpose of this. Let's not let his death go in vain. Let's learn something from this and let's share with others. Let's share what we have learned today. Lauryn Hill said it can all be so simple, but we rather make it hard. We no longer have to make it hard. We got the formula. God is doing something in us, through us, and all around us. If you haven't experienced it, it's coming if you are open to the possibility. But he's doing it. He's going to do it with or without you. The only reason you're not chosen is because you choose not to be chosen. You choose not to see. I'm no better than anybody else. But I'm just like, listen, I want to see. Feed me. I'm hungry. Give me all you got. I'll take it. Now that I know darkness comes with light, it's a part of the process. Trust the process. What is already. What your experience is already experiencing you, all that good stuff. I'm good. I'm principle based and I'm spirit led because I'm more than my body.